Ancient Indian history, we are going to discuss the early kingdoms of Magadha. This is most important because it covers the complete early kingdoms like Bruhadrada dynasty, Haryanka dynasty, Bruhadrada dynasty, Haryanka dynasty, Shisunaga dynasty and Nanda dynasty. These four dynasties are considered as early kingdoms of Magadha. After these four dynasties, Mauryans established empire. So that was the first historical empire. These were the dynasties. Actually, there are the terminologies we are using: kingdom, empire. Kingdom is also called as dynasty. Dynasty sometimes used for the family name or sometimes the area name. Kingdom also same. Empire is a big one, kingdom is small, empire is a big one. Some group of the empires, group of the kings or group of the kingdoms, those who are under the subdue of the main ruler, they are called as empires. So after this we will go to the empire. So these are the kingdoms, that's why they are considered as the early kingdoms of Magadha. In this early kingdoms of Magadha, we will discuss one by one. First, Bruhadrada dynasty. This was considered as the first dynasty of Magadha, Bruhadrada dynasty. Bruhadrada, Haryanka, Shisunaga, Nanda, out of this, first considered as a Bruhadrada. According to the Puranas, the earliest kingdom of the Magadha was Bruhadrada dynasty. This was established by the Bruhadrada. He was the founder of the Bruhadrada dynasty was Bruhadrada. He was son of Vasu. Bruhadrada was a son of Vasu. According to the Puranas, Vasu established a area called as Vasumati. This was the city. He constructed a city called Vasumati, and also he constructed Girivraja. Girivraja, it is located amidst of the 5 hills in Bihar. Present, these were located in the Bihar. According to the Puranas, Vasu, he constructed this. Vasu was the father of the Bruhadrada. Bruhadrada, he had a son called Jarasandhi or Jarasandha. How he got this name, Jarasandhi or Jarasandha? Bruhadrada, he got 2 sons. Originally he got 2 sons with 2 wives. These 2 wives, they gave birth to the 2 sons at a time, but these 2 sons were born with half body. One son with half body, another son with half body. After seeing this middle half body of the 2 sons, Bruhadrada, he thrown out to the forest. In the forest, this was founded by a Jara Rakshasi. She founded that 2 bodies, half bodies of the child, infant. And this Jara, she added these 2 bodies, half bodies were added, these 2, and gave life to that 2 bodies. Finally became Jarasandhi or Jarasandha, who was born or who was gave birth by the Rakshasi Jarasandhi. Jarasandhi added this person. So that is what called as Jarasandha, one who joined by Jara. Jarasandhi means one who joined by Jara. So by that he got the name Jarasandhi. Jarasandha was a powerful king. He ruled after the Bruhadrada, and he after giving birth or after giving life to the Jarasandhi by Jara, he recognized he was son of the Bruhadrada, and he went to the Bruhadrada dynasty. After the death of Bruhadrada, he became the ruler. And he was very powerful ruler of this dynasty, Bruhadrada dynasty. He was also mentioned in Mahabharata. Finally, he was killed by Bhima in the Mahabharata. We know that story. While Bhima was killing Jarasandha, he known that removing of the body, dead body removing of the body of Jara into two halves, and throwing out again, these two halves are merging each other. He is going to alive, dead, alive, dead, alive. Several times like that happened. Finally, Lord Krishna, he gave idea to the Bhima to kill Jarasandha. And after dividing body into two parts, he said that thrown them into the reverse side. Instead of throwing into the same side, thrown the two halves of the body like a reverse order. So immediately Bhima he also did the same. Jarasandha died in the Mahabharata war. The time period assigned to the Jarasandha approximately 1760 BC. It was a time period assigned to the Jarasandha. He was succeeded by Sahadev, his son Sahadev. Sahadev also mentioned in the Mahabharata, but not the last brother of the Pandavas. This Sahadev is different from the Pandavas Sahadev. And last king of this dynasty, Bruhadrada dynasty, last king of the Bruhadrada dynasty, he was Ripunjaya. Ripunjaya was last king of the Bruhadrada dynasty. Ripunjaya was killed by Bimbisara. Ripunjaya was killed by Bimbisara, and Bimbisara he established Haryanka dynasty. The dynasty which was established by the Bimbisara is called as Haryanka dynasty. So Bruhadrada dynasty ended. Founder of the Bruhadrada dynasty was Bruhadrada. Last ruler of the Bruhadrada dynasty was Ripunjaya, and Bruhadrada dynasty capital was Girivraja. Bruhadrada dynasty famous ruler, powerful ruler of the Bruhadrada dynasty was Jarasandha. These are the things we have to remember regarding Bruhadrada dynasty. Next, coming to the point of Haryanka dynasty. Haryanka, after the Bruhadrada, Haryanka dynasty was ruled. Haryanka dynasty founder was Bimbisara. Bimbisara, he was the founder of Haryanka dynasty. Bimbisara, he was a son of Bhattiya. Bimbisara's father, Bhattiya. Bhattiya was the father of Bimbisara. According to the Buddhist chronicle, Bimbisara, he ruled around 52 years. Buddhist chronicle says that he ruled 52 years. He was contemporary of both founder of the Buddhism, Gautama Buddha, and also he was a contemporary of Vardhamana Mahavira. He was also relative of Vardhamana Mahavira. How he was a relative of Vardhamana Mahavira, we will discuss that in very little time. So according to the Buddhism, Bindusara met Buddha before Buddha enlightenment. Even before Buddha enlightenment, Bindusara and Buddha, these two met, and these two were spoke each other. They talk each other. Next, he is regarded how attained Sotapanna hood. Sotapanna hood attained by Bimbisara. Bimbisara attained Sotapanna food. This is a decree from the enlightenment. It was a decree of enlightenment from Buddhist literature. We are knowing from the Buddhist literature regarding Bindusara. As per the Jain text, he was referred as a Srenika. According to the Jain text, his name was mentioned as a Srenika. Srenika regarded as the king of Rajagruha. He was king of Rajagruha. That means he constructed Rajagruha in the midst of the 5 hills. Girivraja developed as a Rajagruha by the Bimbisara. Bimbisara's capital, Rajagruha. Bruhadrada dynasty capital, Girivraja. And he followed different policies to extend the kingdom. He was the first ruler in the Indian history who started the extension of empire, extension of the kingdom. He concentrated on the extension of the kingdom. For the extension of kingdom, he followed different policies. Mainly he followed 3 policies. What are these 3 policies? Coming to this point: war, marriage alliances, through the marriage alliances. Third one is diplomatic relations. He followed these 3 methods to extend his kingdom. First of all, we come across to the war. He waged war with Anga. He annexed Anga. Anga was very powerful kingdom of that period. It was very fabulous kingdom of that period because of the Champa river, and Champa is the capital of Anga. Anga is very fabulous kingdom. Already we discussed in the Mahajanapadas. It was given to the Karna by the Duryodhana. In the Mahabharata, we already discussed that. Champa was the capital of Anga. Champa located on the river bank of Champa. Because of the Champa river, it connects to the Southeast Asian countries. It was a very famous trade route to the Southeast Asian countries. That's why Anga became very wealthiest state of that period. So he concentrated on the Anga. He occupied Anga by using the first method, that is war. And the second method, what he was followed? Marriage alliances. Second method was the marriage alliances. He married different wives, different princes, and got different parts of the kingdom as a dowry. First he married, he used to marriage alliances for the strengthen the kingdom. First he married Kosala Devi. She was a daughter of Sanjaya Mahakosala. Originally, Sanjaya Mahakosala died at the time of the marriage of Kosala Devi with Bimbisara. Sanjaya Mahakosala's daughter Kosala Devi and Kosala Devi's brother was Prasenjit. Prasenjit, he was king of Kosala of that period. Kosala Mahadevi, she was a princess of the Kosala, daughter of Sanjaya Mahakosala. Sanjaya Mahakosala died at the time of the Kosala Devi's marriage. Prasenjit, he gave his sister to the Bimbisara. Bimbisara married Kosala Devi and got Kasi as a dowry. His bribe brought Kasi as a dowry. Kasi was a big textile center. This we know, Kasi is a big textile center of that period. This was the first one. Second marriage. Second marriage alliances with Chalana. Chalana, she was daughter of Chetaka. Chalana, she was daughter of Chetaka. Daughter of Chetaka, Chalana, she was a princess of Lichavis. Princess of Lichavis. Lichavis were very famous tribal people in the Vaisali. Lichavis, they were very famous tribal people in Vaisali kingdom. Lichavis. And also Lichavis were very, very powerful. Nobody can fight directly with the Lichavis because Lichavis were very strong, dare and dashing people. Those who married in the Lichavi family, Lichavis would give full support for them to extend the kingdom. And especially the kings, those who married the princess of Lichavis, especially they used to give importance for that princess, for that queen. Along with this Chalana, there was another Lichavi princess. We know that she was Trishala. Who was Trishala? Trishala, she was mother of Vardhamana. Vardhamana Mahavira's mother, Trishala. Trishala, she was sister of Chalana. Trishala was sister of Chalana. And how here Bimbisara was related to the Vardhamana Mahavira. Coming to the point of the Vardhamana Mahavira relation with Bimbisara. How he was related with Bimbisara. Look here. Chalana gave his daughter to the Bimbisara. That means Bimbisara was son-in-law. That we can come to the conclusion with Chetaka. Come to the point of the Chetaka. Chalana was daughter of Chetaka. Chetaka, he gave his daughter to the Bimbisara. Bimbisara is son-in-law of Chetaka. So, if you come from the Chetaka, it will be very clear. And Chetaka's sister, Trishala, was mother of Vardhamana. So, Vardhamana was a maternal son-in-law. Maternal son-in-law of Chetaka. Both were the son-in-laws. That means Vardhamana Mahavira and Bimbisara were cousins. These two were the cousins. And coming to the point of the third marriage with Khema. She was a daughter of Mudra king. Belongs to the Punjab. By marrying Chalana, he got some territories. By marrying Khema, he got some territories from the Punjab. And fourth, he married Vasavi. He also married Vasavi. Vasavi, she was a princess of Videha. Princess of Videha. Videha kingdom. And he also got some territories from the Videha kingdom. Like this, second policy of the Bimbisara to extend his kingdom, he followed marriage alliances with different people. Married Kosala Devi, got Kasi as the dowry. Married Chalana, got some areas of the Vaisali, that is Vijay kingdom. Khema, daughter of Mudra, got some territories from the Punjab. Vasavi got some territories from the Videha kingdom. Like that, he was the first Indian ruler who started the extension of kingdoms. First Indian king of Magadha who started the extension of his kingdom. He maintained diplomatic relations. Next, third policy, it was diplomatic relations. He maintained diplomatic relations with Avanti ruler. The contemporary Avanti ruler of Bimbisara was Pradyota. Pradyota was contemporary of Avanti ruler to the Bimbisara. Pradyota, he got jaundice. Pradyota, he was suffering from the jaundice. So it was at this moment what Bimbisara did. Bimbisara, he has a great physician in his court. Bimbisara, he has a great physician in his court called as Jivaka. He was a great physician. He was a great doctor of that period. He can cure any disease of that period. That's why Jivaka was sent to the court of the Pradyota to cure, to heal jaundice. Jivaka went to the Pradyota's court. Pradyota, he healed from the jaundice disease and he came out from the danger of the jaundice disease. That's why Pradyota gave some territories to the Bimbisara. And this Jivaka also, he served to the Buddha. He served to Buddha also. Jivaka was the most important physician of that period. This was happened with diplomatic relations with Avanti ruler. He also exchanged letters with Pukkusati. He also exchanged the letters Pukkusati. Pukkusati, he was king of Gandhara. Gandhara king. Pukkusati, contemporary to the Bimbisara. These two maintained some cordial relations, that is letters. So Brahman books called him as Vacha. Bimbisara called as Vacha by the Brahman literature. Vacha means who neglected Brahmanical rituals and cults. He neglected the Brahmanical rituals and cults. Vacha means Vacha. And he was also called as Kshatriya Bandha. Kshatriya Bandha. Mentioned in the different literatures. Kshatriya Bandha means low origin. Low origin. Kshatriya Bandhu. He was lower origin. Originally, some books did not recognize him as a higher born, lower born. That means he born in the lower caste. Might be Vaishyas or might be Sudras, like that. Not belongs to Kshatriyas or not belongs to Brahman, according to Brahmanical literature. But this was not perfect. Bimbisara was imprisoned by his son, finally. Bimbisara, he was imprisoned by his son, Ajatashatru. Bimbisara got a son called Ajatashatru. Ajatashatru imprisoned Bimbisara. Ajatashatru, son of Bimbisara. Ajatashatru, son of Bimbisara. Ajatashatru imprisoned Bimbisara without giving a food. Finally, Bimbisara died in the prison. Ajatashatru ascended the throne. He became ruler. He became king by following patricide. Patricide means killing the father. This advice was given by Devadatta. Devadatta gave this advice. Devadatta, he was cousin of Buddha. Buddha's cousin. Buddha's cousin Devadatta, he gave advice to the Bimbisara, advice to the Ajatashatru to kill his father, and Ajatashatru, provoked by the Devadatta, killed his father, and Ajatashatru came to the throne. Ajatasattu came to the throne. After the killing his father on the advice of Devadatta, Ajatasattu's mother Kosala Devi died. Kosala Devi, she lost her sense and died. Almost completely fell in the coma after the death of Bimbisara. Next, what happened? Ajatasattu, he came to the throne. According to the Jain tradition, that is called as Nirayavalika Sutta, Jain book, Nirayavalika Sutta, Nirayavalika Sutta. What this book says? This is Jain Agamas. Ajatasattu was born to the king Bimbisara with Challana. Ajatasattu born to the Bimbisara and Challana, according to Jain text. But according to the Buddhist tradition, what Buddha text says? Buddha text, Diganikaya, according to the Diganikaya, it was the Buddhist book. It says that Ajatasattu born to the Bimbisara with Kosala Devi. Bimbisara with Kosala Devi. Bimbisara and Kosala Devi. Because there was a story. Both books gave one story. While Ajatasattu was in the pregnancy of his mother, whoever it may be, either Challana or Kosala Devi. While he was in the pregnancy of his mother, either Challana or Kosala Devi, they got a desire. They have some desire to eat heart of Bimbisara. Heart of Bimbisara. That means heart of the husband. They wanted to eat the heart of the Bimbisara. Finally, this was expressed, and some people, they went to the forest. They find a fruit looks like a heart, and that was fried. After frying that fruit, it was eaten by Challana or Kosala Devi. And after eating that, they felt bad and they felt ashamed, because how they got that idea to eat heart of the husband. So this idea was taken to the astrologers, and they asked to the astrologers. Astrologers said, why you got the dream or you got the desire was because you are going to give birth to the male child. Your male child will kill your husband. That means Ajatasattu would kill the Bimbisara. That was already given, that was already said by the astrologers. That's why Challana, she thrown out the small infant. Whenever Ajatasattu born, thrown out from the window. This news was known by the Bimbisara. This news was known by the Bimbisara. Bimbisara, suddenly he came and he sat in the garbage while his son Ajatasattu was fallen in the garbage, and a hen came to there. That hen hit the eaten the finger of Ajatasattu. A cock came or hen came, eaten the finger. That means hit the finger with the nose. Finally, that was bleeding. Finger was bleeding. the bleeding finger was taken into mouth by the Bimbisara and swallowed the blood. He swallowed the blood. That finger became short. That finger became short. That's why Ajatasattu he mentioned in the books as a Kunika. His title was called as Kunika. Ajatasattu mentioned as Kunika in the literatures. Kunika means sore finger. Kunika means sore finger. This was the story of birth of the Ajatasattu. Both were mentioned, this story, both Jain text and Buddhist texts were mentioned this story. Whatever it may be, Ajatasattu, whenever he came to the throne, he killed his father and ascended the throne. Ajatasattu being called Vaidehi Putra in some other text, Vaidehi Putra also. Who was the Vaidehi queen? Vaidehi queen who married Vasavi. Vaidehi queen who married Bimbisara Vasavi. On some books he was also mentioned as Vaidehi Putra. Might be he was a son of Vaidehi. That is found at Madura Museum. An inscription found at Madura Museum. In that inscription he was mentioned as Vaidehi Putra. He was also called as Kunika. And later he was called as Asoka Chanda. Asoka Chanda, his other name, Asoka Chanda. Bimbisara. With the help of his two great ministers, Sannidha and Vasakara. Sannidha and Vasakara. These two were the great ministers of Ajatasattu. With the help of these two great ministers, Ajatasattu, he constructed Pataliputra. Pataliputra on the river bank of Son. On the river bank of Son. It is originally called as Pataligrama. Pataligrama. Present Patna. Present it is called as Patna. Near Patna, he constructed a Pataliputra. Initially it was called as Pataligrama. And Ajatasattu, he reorganized the army. He reorganized and strengthened the army by using different weapons. He himself made some equipped with new weapons called as Mahasilakantaka. Mahasilakantaka. It was a new weapon used by the Ajatasattu. This Mahasilakantaka to throw the big rocks. It is a weapon to throw the rocks. Like in the Bahubali movie, we also watched that throwing a, what is that mission? A mission which made up of with wood, throwing stones, big stones, throwing to the, what is that opposite? Enemy's army. That we already watched into the, these two weapons, he used two weapons. Those two weapons are used in the Bahubali movie. That is Mahasilakantaka, throwing rocks. By throwing the rocks, this Mahasilakantaka used while he was waging war with Vaisali kingdom. Vaisali kingdom. Nearly 1 lakh people died because of this Mahasilakantaka throwing stones. They crushed by the thrones, big stones crushed the people. Nearly 1 lakh people were crushed there. After this, another weapon which was used by him, Radha Musala. So, according to some evidences or according to some literature, this Radha Musala weapon was given to Ajatasattu by Indra. Indra gave that weapon. Radha Musala, it was automatically moving chariot having muse. In front of that, it has the mace, a big, what you call, just like a chakra, big wheel. It is going to be turned very fast. People are crushing with that. This was also used in the Bahubali movie. Mahasalakantaka was used by the Bahubali, and this Radhamusala was used by the opposite person of the, who is that, Ballala Sena, used the Ballala Sena. These two were also used in that movie. By using these, by adding these two weapons, he strengthened his army. Ajatashatru, he strengthened his army. He followed the policy of the conquest and expansion. Conquest and expansion. These policies were followed by the Ajatashatru. Coming to this point, he married the princess of Kosala. Ajatashatru married princess of Kosala. She was a Vajira, princess of Kosala. She was daughter of Prasenjit. So as we discussed initially, Ajatashatru, he killed his father. Ajatashatru, when he killed his father, Prasenjit's sister Kosala Devi died. Whenever Kosala Devi died, this Prasenjit, he taken back Kasi. Kasi was given to the Kosala Devi. Kasi was given to the Bimbisara. That's why Prasenjit, he taken back Kasi. Because of that, Ajatashatru, he declared war against Prasenjit. Prasenjit was defeated and Kasi was taken back, again annexed by the Ajatashatru. Like this, so he got the Kasi. This is one story. Another one, finally, coming to the point of the Kosala kingdom. Kosala king was Prasenjit. Latter period, after the annexation of the Kasi, Kasi was annexed by the Ajatashatru. Days are gone, some years also gone. Prasenjit was the ruler. Prasenjit has the son called Vidudara. Vidudaka, he was son of Prasenjit. And Prasenjit, one day, Prasenjit, he came out from the palace. He went to the hunting. One day he went to the hunting. By this time, Prasenjit minister, he has a minister called Digacharayana. Digacharayana, he was a minister of Prasenjit. He made Vidudara as a ruler. And gates were closed. Prasenjit, while he was entering to the, after completion of the hunting, while he was entering to the palace, the gates were closed. So Prasenjit, he understood. Vidudara gave troubles to him. Remember one thing, in the 6th century BC in India, from 6th century BC and 5th century BC in India, kings afraid of their sons, prince afraid of their king. That is, father afraid of the son, son afraid of the father, vice versa. There was a danger from the son to the father, father to the son. That was happening of that period. Whenever Vidudara, he wanted to become the king, same like that Ajatashatru, he killed his father and ascended the throne. Same followed by the Vidudara. Vidudara, he closed the doors with the help of the Digacharayana. Prasenjit was not able to enter into the palace and he returned. He went to the Pataliputra. seeking help from the Ajatashatru. He seeked help from the Ajatashatru. But whenever he reached to the Pataliputra doors were also closed. Finally, Prasenjit, he died. Because of severe cold, he died. This was recognized. That is, Pataliputra means Rajagruha of death period. He went to the Rajagruha. Not Pataliputra, sorry, Rajagruha. He went to the, Prasenjit went to the Rajagruha. By that time, Rajagruha doors were also closed. Prasenjit died. This was known by the Ajatashatru. Ajatashatru declared war against Vidudara, that is war against Kosala kingdom. By this time, Kosala king was Vidudaba. He was Vidudaka or Vidudaba. He was also called as Vidudaba. Vidudaba, king of Kosala. These two started war. But Kosala was got floods. While there occurred war, at the time of the war, Vidudara and his army faced the untimely flood from the Rapti river. Rapti river, it gave untimely flood. Because of this untimely flood, the entire army was flooded. Without war, Kosala kingdom was annexed by the Ajatashatru. Ajatashatru, he annexed the Kosala kingdom. After the annexation of the Kosala kingdom, Ajatashatru, he diverted his attention towards the Vaisali. That is the area of Lichavis. He wanted to occupy the area of the Lichavis, Ajatashatru. To wage war directly with the Lichavis is not possible. That's why Ajatashatru, he sent Vasakara to the Lichavis. Vasakara went to the Lichavi and he sought the help of the Lichavi leaders to save from the Ajatashatru, to rescue life from the Ajatashatru. He played a drama because he was very good tactician. Very good tactician. He went to the Lichavi leaders. He said that I am afraid of the Ajatashatru. Ajatashatru was going to kill me. Please give shelter. That was a drama played by the Vasakara. He was a tactician. And whenever he entered into the Lichavis, he made quarrels among the Lichavi leaders. One and the other Lichavi rulers, while they were quarreling, suddenly Ajatashatru invaded on the Lichavis and he occupied Vaisali. Like this, Ajatashatru, he also occupied Vaisali. But finally, Ajatashatru was also killed by his son Udayan. Udayan, the son of Ajatashatru, killed his father. He came to the throne. He was a son of Ajatashatru. Ajatashatru constructed, already we discussed that with the help of two great ministers, Sannidhi and Vasakara, Ajatashatru constructed Pataliputra, and Udayan, he shifted capital from Rajagriha to Pataliputra. Rajagriha to Pataliputra. Capital shifted to Pataliputra by Udayan. He shifted capital. He was last major king of the Haryanka dynasty. He followed Jainism. A Jain tradition. And he was killed at the behest of, behest means that is order, behest of a king of Avanti, Palaka. Actually, Palaka, he was king of Avanti. This Palaka, king of Avanti, he behest to kill Udayan. Udayan was killed by his army. And after the Udayan, there were different rulers came to the throne. Finally, Aniruddha, one king after this, Manda. Next, last king of the Haryanka dynasty, Nagasena. Last king of the Haryanka dynasty, Nagasena. These three rulers ruled after the Udayan. But according to some evidences, according to some literary works, Haryanka dynasty rulers, they killed their fathers. That is, they committed patricide. They committed patricide. That's why this kingdom is called as a patricidal dynasty. This kingdom is called as patricidal dynasty. Haryanka kingdom is called as patricidal dynasty. This is about the Haryanka kingdom. Next we are going to discuss about the next kingdom, Shishunaga kingdom. Last king of this dynasty was Nagadasaka. Last ruler of the Haryanka dynasty, Nagadasaka, was killed by Shishunaga. Shishunaga established Shishunaga dynasty. Shishunaga dynasty. According to the Sri Lanka Chronicles, Sri Lanka Chronicles are the Buddhist chronicles. These Buddhist chronicles, they said that people of Magadha revolted during the time of the Nagadasaka. While Nagadasaka was the king of Pataliputra, last king of the Haryanka dynasty, during this period, according to Sri Lanka chronicles, there occurred revolt from the people. People revolted. This revolt has been taken as a chance. And finally his minister, Nagadasaka's minister Shishunaga, he killed Nagadasaka, and Shishunaga established the Shishunaga dynasty. Shishunaga dynasty, it lasted from 413 to 345. This was the period of Shishunaga dynasty. Founder Shishunaga. Shishunaga, originally he was viceroy of during the time of the Nagadasaka period, he was viceroy of Kasi. Shishunaga was viceroy of Kasi. At the time of he was becoming the king. So his capital, originally his capital was Girivraja. Again he ruled from the Girivraja. Later he shifted capital to the Vaisali. First, initially he ruled from Girivraja. Later he shifted capital to the Vaisali. Shishunaga. The most important achievements of the Shishunaga period. He captured Avanti. Shishunaga captured Avanti. That means nearly 100 years rivalry between these. 100 years continued the rivalry between Avanti and Magadha. That came to end during the time of the Shishunaga period. That you have to remember. This brought to the end of the rivalry between Magadha and Avanti. Avanti became, since from the time of the Shishunaga period, Avanti became part and parcel of the Magadha dynasty. Continued until the Mauryan dynasty. Even until the end of the Mauryan dynasty, Avanti was part and parcel of this Magadha. Avanti is the part and parcel of the Magadha. After this Shishunaga, his son Kalasoka came to the throne. Second ruler, Kalasoka. He was king, son of Shishunaga. Kalasoka is considered as the important king of this dynasty. Kalasoka, he again shifted capital from Vaisali to Pataliputra. He shifted capital from Vaisali to Pataliputra. We already known Kalasoka, he conducted a second Buddhist council. Second Buddhist Council held at Vaisali. The Second Buddhist Council, President of the Second Buddhist Council, Sabakami. The importance of the Second Buddhist Council, schism occurred in the Buddhism because of the ideological differences between the two groups, Theravadinis and Sthaviravadinis. Two groups were started. And he was Kalasuka, he conducted Second Buddhist Council. He was also killed in a palace. Kalasuka killed in a palace because the revolution occurred. Some revolution occurred in the palace. He was killed in the palace by a Nanda ruler, Mahapadmananda. Mahapadmananda, according to some evidences, Mahapadmananda, he was son of one of the kings of Shishanaga dynasty. Thus way Nanda dynasty also considered, sometimes Nanda dynasty is also considered as a Shishanaga dynasty in some books. Okay, that we will discuss. The next is Nanda dynasty. Nanda dynasty established by Mahapadmananda. Several books mentioned him as a lower origin. Several books mentioned him as a lower origin. And most of the books mentioned him as he born in Sudra. Non-Brahman, non-Kshatriya, that is Sudra. Thus why this Nanda dynasty is considered as a first Sudra dynasty. First Sudra dynasty in the Indian history. Nanda dynasty. First Sudra dynasty. It lasted from 345 to ruled from 345 BC to 321 BC. Just 25 years. It continued just 25 years, Nanda dynasty. Mahapadmananda, he was considered as a first historical emperor according to some books, but did not accepted by the historians. First historical emperor was Chandragupta Maurya. Because he was the first person who occupied several kingdoms, he got Ekarat, Virat, Samrat, the titles of that period. Based on that, some historians, they said he might be the first historical emperor, but that was denied by several historians. And he murdered Kalasoka to become the king. His origin was not clear. His birth was not clear. Birth of the Mahapadmananda was not clear. He has two names, mentioned two names in the different books. One is Ugrasena. He was mentioned as a Ugrasena, and also he was mentioned as a Mahapadmapati. These two names were mentioned. But according to the Puranas, what Puranas says? Puranas says that he was born to the Mahanandi, Shishanaga king. Last Shishanaga king, Mahanandi. Mahanandin was last Shishanaga king. Mahanandin and courtesan, Sudra woman. Mahapadmananda was born to the Shishanaga king, last Shishanaga king, Mahanandin and Sudra woman, according to the Puranas. Purana says that. But Jain text, what Jain text and also Greek. Jain and Greek text, they gave another information regarding to the regarding the birth of the Mahapadmananda. Mahapadmananda, he was born to the barber and courtesan. Barber, a man, and courtesan. Courtesan, dancer. Barber was Mangali, that is what called as Mangali, courtesan. Like this, there are different stories. Whatever it may be, Mahapadmananda, most of the people, they accepted Mahapadmananda was born to the lower horizon. He was Sudra. Mahapadmananda considered as Adharmika. He was also considered as Adharmika in some text. Mahapadmananda. Mahapadmananda considered as Adharmika. Adharmika means the who did not follow the norms of Dharma. He did not follow the norms of Dharma. And Buddhist text, according to the Buddhist text, this Buddhist text they gave, Mahapadmananda belongs to the Annata Kula. That is unknown lineage. Annata Kula means unknown lineage. Nobody knows his birth. He was also called as Sarvakshetriyantaka. Destroyer of the Kshatriyas. Sarvakshetriyantaka means he destroyed of the Kshatriyas. He killed many Kshatriyas. Nearly, he occupied 14 Mahajanapadas. 14 Mahajanapadas came under the control of the Mahapadmananda. He killed many kings. That's why he got the title called Second Parasurama. Parasurama was a legendary hero who had hand axe. With the hand axe, he killed many Kshatriyas. That's why Mahapadmananda also killed many Kshatriyas. He got the title Second Parasurama. Parasurama, he was a legendary hero. If we come across to the Parasurama story, Parasurama, he got his father name of the father of Parasurama, Jamadagni. While Jamadagni, he sat in the tapas inside the bush. Inside the bush, while he was sitting for the tapas, one king, while he was hunting, he looked at the bush. He felt that there was a deer. That's why he released the arrow. Whenever this Kshatriya king released the arrow, Jamadagni head was removed from the body. Then he entered into that place, found the dead body of Jamadagni, that is says yogi, and he ran away from that place. That means he escaped from that place. After some time, Parasurama reached to the home. He recognized the dead body as his father, but he don't know who was the king killed the Jamadagni. That's why he wanted to kill all the kings. If he killed all the kings, definitely the king who killed Jamadagni will also die. So he started to kill all the Kshatriyas. That was the story of Parasurama. Same, Mahapadmananda also killed different kings. That's why he was called as Second Parasurama. And he considered as he conquered many kingdoms. He also added Kalinga. He captured Kalinga. Mahapadmananda was the first ruler of the Magadha. Mahapadmananda was the first ruler of Magadha, first king of Magadha, who invaded on South India. He occupied Kalinga. And also he brought idols of Jainism, some Jain idols, Jain statues. He brought to the Pataliputra from Kalinga. Jain statues, because he followed the Jainism. That's why he brought some Jain statues from Kalinga to the Pataliputra, shifted them. This was another important thing during the time of the Mahapadmananda period. And his prime minister was Rakshasa. The name of the prime minister of Mahapadmananda's prime minister Rakshasa. His name was Rakshasa. With the help of the Rakshasa, he did many things. And another most important thing, Mahapadmananda, he brought systematic taxation first time in India. The collection of the tax, systematic collection of the tax. That's why Nandas, they became wealthiest rulers. They collected systematic tax from the people. He maintained Chaturanga Bala. According to the Greek writers, Nandas, they maintained Chaturanga Bala, 4 forces of the army, Chaturanga Bala. Chaturanga Bala, that is Radha Bala. Radha Bala is called as chariotry. He maintained chariotry of 8,000. And Radha Bala, after the Radha Bala, elephants, that is Gazabala. Gazabala. Elephantry. Gazabala means elephantry. He has 6,000 elephantry. 6,000 elephantry. And Asvikadala. Asvikadala. Cavalry. 60,000 cavalry. He maintained the 60,000 cavalry. Next, Padatidala. Padatidala. Infantry. He maintained 2 lakhs infantry. 2 lakhs infantry. This was the strength of the Mahapadmananda. This was the strength of the Nandas according to the Greek accounts like Plutarch, Arian. Many Greek writers, they gave information of the kings of that period. This army strength of that period. That's why even though the great emperor, the great conqueror of world conqueror Alexander, after hearing this, he did not invade on Pataliputra. Alexander did not invade on the Pataliputra. After knowing this, he returned back. This was there in the history. And Mahapadmananda, he had 8 sons. 8 sons and Mahapadmananda. Totally 9 Nandas. Navanandas ruled the kingdom. Last king was Dhanananda. Dhanananda was the last king. His original name was Mahananda. The original name was Mahananda. He had desire and the acquiring of the wealth. That's why he was called as Dhanananda. He acquired more and more wealth. That's why he was called as Dhanananda. Somadeva Suri Katha Saris Sagar. Somadeva Suri. He wrote Katha Sarit Sagar. This Katha Saris Sagar gives the information of Dhanananda. It speaks about the Dhanananda. He accumulated more and more wealth. According to several books, according to the several sources, he accumulated 80 crores wealth. 80 crores wealth collected from the people. And this information was given by the Mamulanar, a Tamil poet. Tamil poet gave this information, Mamulanar. Also, Huyansang, who visited 7th century AD, Huyansang visited India during the time of the Harshavardhana period. He also gave that information. Dhanananda, he had more and more wealth, and he also found the wealth of the Nandas in different places. And he was contemporary of the Alexander. During his period, Alexander invaded on India. Finally, Dhanananda, he has different ministers. One of them was Vishnugopa. He was popularly called as Chanukya and also called as Kautilya according to some evidences, he was a minister of Dhanananda and student of the Taxila University. Chanakya or Kautilya or Vishnugopa, he was severely humiliated by the Dhanananda, that is severely insulted by the Dhanananda, and he came out from the Dhanananda. While he was coming out from the Dhanananda, he untied his hair and he promised to, I will saw your head until your end, I won't tie my hair. That was the promise made by the Kautilya. Already in some movies you can find that. This was the Kautilya's promise. Kautilya went to the finally Chandragupta Maurya. With the help of the Chandragupta Maurya, Kautilya killed Dhanananda. By this ended the Nanda dynasty. This is about the 4 early kingdoms of Magadha. This is about the 4 early kingdoms of Magadha. Coming to the point of one by one for the repetition, Bruhadrada dynasty was established by the Bruhadrada. Bruhadrada dynasty capital was Girivraja. Last ruler of the Bruhadrada dynasty, Ripunjaya. Haryanka dynasty was founded by the Bimbisara. Last ruler of the Haryanka dynasty, Nagadasaka. Haryanka dynasty first capital Rajagriha and last capital Pataliputra. Sisunaga dynasty was founded by the Sisunaga. We know the last ruler of the Sisunaga dynasty, Kalasoka. They also have 2 capitals, so Girivraja, Vaisali. Nanda dynasty was established by the Mahapadmananda, founder of this dynasty. Their capital was Pataliputra. There were 9 Nandas. Navanandas ruled the 9 Nanda dynasty. Last Nanda king was Dhanananda. Yeah, this is about this topic, the early kingdoms of Magadha. In the next video, we will discuss the foreign invasions, that is Persian and Alexander invasions. Okay, good luck.